Massacre in Atlanta. A gunman goes on a deadly shooting rampage. We'll have the latest on the shooter and the victims. A judge fines President Clinton for giving false testimony under oath. And outrage over the latest cyber smut. Secretly recorded college locker room videos for sale on the internet.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Dan is off tonight. I'm John Roberts. Police in Atlanta are hunting tonight for a killer, a gunman who unleashed a hail of bullets inside a crowded office complex. At least 9 people are dead, 12 injured, and 3 more people have been killed in an apparently related shooting. Our coverage begins with Byron Pitts, who has been on the scene since shortly after the shooting began. Byron?
John, police say the gunman is still on the run at this hour. Authorities say he is alone, he is angry, and he is armed. A day trader who today, in the words of one witness, quote, went crazy. The gunman opened fire just after 3 this afternoon, killing at least 9 people and wounding another 13, many of them critically.
Blood drips in the hallway leading into the property manager's office, and there was blood all over there.
Witnesses say 44-year-old Mark Barton, a day trader, walked into the all-tech investment company where he had done business just 2 days earlier. Today, he returned with at least 2 guns and opened fire. Murdered in the first wave of gunshots, the office manager and assistant manager, both killed at point-blank range. Then, according to witnesses, Barton went on a rampage, roaming the hallways, shooting anyone in his path.
He had a .45 caliber handgun and a 9mm handgun. He apparently was a day trader at a brokerage firm and was concerned about financial losses.
Police evacuated several buildings here in the heart of Atlanta's Buckhead business district, but there was no sign of the gunman.
As we got halfway across the street, they said, there he is, he's got a gun. So he was just up on the corner of that building and he had a girl with him. So we just laid down on the ground next to the police cars.
The hallway was empty except for a few members of the police, and they were with their backs against the wall, the guns drawn like you'd see, in a movie. And basically, they said, close the door, close the door, close the door. And on the ground, on the carpet, there was a little trail of blood coming down the hall.
Police say Mark Barton's killing spree did not start here. In the past hour, authorities found the bodies of 3 people in an apartment building some 30 miles south of Atlanta. All 3 are believed to be relatives of the gunman. The death toll here is now 12. John?
Byron Pitts at the scene, thanks. As Byron mentioned, the shooting began at the office of the All-Tech Investment Group, which caters to so-called day traders. All-Tech is one of the nation's largest day trading companies. Its headquarters are in Montvale, New Jersey, with 23 offices across the country. It was founded by Harvey Houtkin, who is considered the father of day trading. He originated the computer program which allows day traders to buy and sell stocks moment by moment, hoping for quick profits instead of waiting for long-term gains. Mr. Houtkin spoke with us a few minutes ago about the shooting. Were you given any kind of indication as to why this took place?
Let me explain one thing I have been able to determine. Mr. Barton had not been trading recently. So it wasn't like the market was down 250 points today, which at one point it was, and he had lost a tremendous amount of money and he snapped. He had not been trading. He had come back to apparently discuss something or go over something, and the fact that he had 2 handguns with him would lead me to believe that this was not spontaneous.
Did he say anything to anyone in the room?
The people that had spoken to the 2 people, the only thing he said that while he was coming out or while he was going in, he mentioned to me that he was saying, I hope this doesn't ruin your trading day.
That was Harvey Houtkin, founder of the All-Tech Investment Group. Following the recent string of school shootings, Congress again took up the issue of gun control. This week, the House and Senate are naming a conference committee to reconcile their separate bills, but no action is likely until after Congress returns from its Labor Day recess. President Clinton is the first president ever found in contempt of court. Today, the judge who cited him fined him. CBS's Phil Jones reports this all stems from the president's testimony under oath in the Paula Jones case.
President Clinton may have thought he was escaping the heat today as he headed off to Europe, but soon after he was airborne, a heated judge zapped him with $90,686 in fines for false and misleading testimony about his relationship with Monica Lewinsky. Arkansas federal judge Susan Weber Wright said the sanctions are being imposed not only to deter others who might consider emulating the president's conduct, but to compensate the plaintiff, Paula Jones, who sued the president for sexual harassment. This money will go to Jones and her attorneys. It was President Clinton's testimony in January 1998 in the Jones case that resulted in him becoming the first president to ever be cited for contempt of court.
At any time, were you and Monica Lewinsky together alone in the Oval Office? I don't recall.
But 6 months later, the president changed his sworn testimony.
When I was alone with Miss Lewinsky on certain occasions in early 1996 and once in early 1997, I engaged in conduct that was wrong.
Judge Wright was so upset by Mr. Clinton's court misconduct that she ordered the president, who asked her to come to Washington for the Jones deposition, to pay for her trip. The president was told about the $90,000 in fines before he arrived in Italy. He reportedly had no reaction, but there was a terse statement from the president's lawyer saying, "We accept the judgment of the court and we will comply with it." This may not be the end of the president's problems. Judge Wright has asked the Arkansas Supreme Court's Committee on Professional Conduct to determine whether it should also take action against Mr. Clinton. Phil Jones, CBS News, the White House.
Senate Republicans are on the verge tonight of passing the largest tax cut this nation has seen in nearly 2 decades. The measure is similar to one already passed by House Republicans. But as CBS's Diana Olick reports, the tax cut plan may turn out to be largely symbolic, facing almost certain death from the president's pen.
Before Republican senators could pour their morning coffee, President Clinton was turning up the heat against their $800 billion tax plan.
So I say to Congress, if you send me a tax cut that shortchanges America's priorities and our children's future, I will veto it.
But Republicans continue to push their bill, and Democrats continue to argue they're just out to help the rich.
This is class warfare. 60% of the benefits go to the top 10%.
Even the dean of Republican economists, Fed Chairman Alan Greenspan, warned big tax cuts could lead to big inflation.
And he fears that if there is a massive tax cut that sends money back into the pocketbooks, it will merely show up in credit card balances, and people will end up spending and spending and spending.
So with Greenspan so clearly opposed and President Clinton ready to veto, why are Republicans so set on such a huge cut?
Well, ultimately, God put Republicans on earth to cut taxes.
In 1981, Ronald Reagan signed the largest tax cut ever, sold as an economic stimulus. It resulted in a decade and a half of deficit, but gave Reagan 8 years of political popularity.
So Republicans believe that they have to go back to their standard bread and butter, and that's cutting taxes.
Democrat John Breaux also wants a tax cut, but is convinced the GOP plan will backfire.
I think it would be a serious mistake for the Republicans to send this bill to the president to be vetoed. He'll veto it and use that as a political issue against the Republicans.
The smart money says that's exactly what'll happen, and so the future of any tax cut will depend on legislators cutting a deal behind closed doors in the fall. Diana Olick, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And just as Congress is debating what to do with a surplus resulting from strong economic growth and low inflation, new numbers from the government today show economic growth slowing and inflation rising. Take a look. Economic growth in the second quarter of this year slowed to 2.3%. It was about double that in the first quarter. The big reason? Consumer spending grew only 4% compared with the 6.7% increase at the start of the year. As for inflation, prices were rising almost twice as fast in the second quarter as they were in the first. And labor costs, which could ignite inflation, had their biggest quarterly increase since 1991. That spooked Wall Street. The Dow plunged 180 points. The Nasdaq fell 65. Still to come on the CBS Evening News. Drought-stricken communities trying to save water before the well runs dry. Hidden cameras in the locker room making videos for the internet. And a DNA test that could keep you from dying from a bad reaction to medicine.
Open wide! It's Frisky's Dental Diet. A Frisky cat's too busy having fun to worry about dental hygiene. That's why there's Frisky's Dental Diet. It helps reduce plaque and tartar buildup by 25%. What a meal! Frisky's Dental Diet.
Out here, am I supposed to say, slow down, I'm constipated? I don't think so. So I rely on doctor-recommended Metamucil. Works with my body, gently, which is important to a sensitive guy like myself.
Did you know that mosquitoes are attracted to dark clothing? Did you know that a poison ivy rash can appear just 10 minutes after contact? That's why there's Fast Relief, new Cortisone 10 Quick Shot Spray. Nothing goes on faster to soothe and cool insect bites and poison ivy. And among these, it's the only one with the medicine doctors recommend most to stop itch and help heal. Need fast itch relief? Try Cortisone 10 Quick Shot Spray. What are you itching for?
One word convinced me to take an herbal to help maintain memory. Centrum.
Centrum Ginkgo is different. Some brands can lack natural ingredients. Only Centrum uses Pharmaprint for a more complete herbal every time. Centrum Herbals, each naturally more complete.
Working out or working hard, Centrum has your nutrition covered. With Centrum, you benefit from what science is discovering about how vitamins and minerals help maintain health and strengthen immunity. Centrum, always complete from A to Zinc.
On tonight's CBS Weather Watch, the deadly heat wave hanging over much of the country is showing no signs of leaving. Daytime temperatures were again in the 90s and some triple digits today. The heat-related death toll now tops 60. In Maryland, the governor today issued the first statewide drought emergency in history.
We are in the middle of one of the worst droughts that Maryland has ever experienced.
In the old line state, the new line is conservation. Reservoirs are 24 feet below normal, and in some communities, wells have already run dry. The Potomac River, which feeds the faucets in the nation's capital, is down 50%. And if drastic steps aren't taken, Baltimore may run out of water.
Fact is that if water consumption continues at its current rate, and we do not get any more rain than we have been receiving, there is only a 35-day supply of water in these reservoirs.
And there is no sign that significant rain is anywhere in the future.
This summer, the jet stream has been north of normal.
Tim Eichler of the Goddard Institute for Space Studies says an unusual change in the jet stream, coupled with a westward shift of the Bermuda High, has allowed a huge dome of hot air to form over most of the country.
Well, on a typical summer, you might see this heat ridge for a 2 or 3 day period. What's been unusual about this summer is that this ridge has been here for a couple of months.
And that weather pattern shows no signs of breaking. While there may be the odd reprieve, the long-term trend is toward more of the same. On a mountainside in Colombia, 4 bodies have been recovered from the crash of a U.S. Army aircraft, casualties of the war on drugs. They're still searching for 3 more bodies. 5 U.S. soldiers and 2 Colombian Air Force officers were lost when the plane crashed last week as it was circling a major cocaine-producing area. The U.S. Department of Justice has issued a heightened security alert for all of its facilities to coincide with the first anniversary of the U.S. Embassy bombings in Africa, August 7th. The bombings in Kenya and Tanzania were blamed on Osama bin Laden, the fugitive financier who is now on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Straight ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, athletes fighting back to keep locker room scenes off the internet.
You won't believe your mouth with this antacid.
That's amazing.
Dissolved almost immediately.
Like, it's gone.
Introducing Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables, a whole new kind of calcium antacid for heartburn.
It dissolves quickly when you put it in your mouth. Very quick.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables dissolve faster and more completely than Tums.
Didn't have to dig it out of my teeth. No grit. It's gone.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewable Tablets. Quick dissolve your heartburn away.
Quick dissolve. Maalox.
From 1 Minute Maalox.
My kitchen is spotless. What's my secret? Boston Market.
Now get a whole chicken, 4 regular sides, 3 cornbread, and a 2-liter Coke, all for just $11.99. Boston Market. Our kitchen is your kitchen.
Yoo-hoo! Does your daily shower cleaner disinfect? Ooh, guess that's a no. Get Lysol Daily Shower Cleaner, the only one that disinfects. Lysol Daily Shower Cleaner helps protect. You have our word on it.
Nobody does it like you.
Boy, they love to play horsey. So your carpet better be deep down clean. And for that, you need Hoover. Hey, you want the best, partner? Introducing the Hoover Steam Vac Wide Path. It sends hot water surging through 6 rotating brushes to stir up and pull out deep down dirt the way no other carpet cleaner can. Hoover! If you want clean, deep down you want Hoover.
Mornings, well, that's my time to be dad. By the time I get home at night, my kids are asleep. And breakfast? Hey, I can do that on my way out the door. The hard part, though, well, the hard part's getting that far.
Buy yourself some time with Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars. Good food to go.
Let me out, come on. Okay, bye-bye.
China today put out an arrest warrant for the leader of a banned meditation group who's now in exile in New York City. It's part of the government's escalating crackdown on Falun Gong. State-run TV News is running non-stop attacks on the group and pictures of its materials being destroyed. It is the biggest propaganda campaign since Beijing tried to discredit pro-democracy students following the massacre at Tiananmen Square. The World Wide Web is caught in a new controversy over invasion of privacy. CBS's Sandra Hughes has the story of some athletes caught with their pants down through no fault of their own.
Game highlights are where most college athletes find their biggest fame. But without his knowledge, this former athlete had a starring role in a much more revealing tape, one sold over the internet showing nude men in a locker room.
Brought up the homepage, and there I was on the internet naked. And at first I was just extremely shocked. You know, the whole world can see me naked on the internet.
Now graduated and working in Chicago, he doesn't want to be identified. He's one of 200 college athletes across the country who claim they were secretly and illegally recorded while they showered and dressed in their locker rooms.
I think the way it was done is there's just a camera that was placed in someone's bag.
But it's not just locker rooms. There are thousands of websites where you can buy down shirt and up skirt videos, bathroom cams and changing room cams, enough to scare people into never taking their clothes off again.
The internet is the Wild West. You can put anything you want up there.
The students who attended well-known universities like Northwestern, Penn State, and Michigan State are outraged that unknown video producers are profiting at their exposed expense. They're suing the video companies for invasion of privacy and the internet service providers for posting the websites that sell the tapes. But ironically, the law called the Communications Decency Act may protect those companies which provide access to the internet.
Under existing federal law, there is really no circumstance where the service provider would be responsible, and that's where I think the current law might go a little too far.
For now, the athletes would just like the internet providers to shut down the websites and expose the shadowy producers who they say have gone way out of bounds to make money. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Chicago.
Coming up next, Eye on America looks at research aimed at preventing bad reactions to prescription drugs.
People breed dogs. Some people breed pretty dogs. Other people breed tough dogs. But every once in a while, one of those tough dogs hooks up with one of the pretty dogs. Introducing the new, redesigned 2000 Mitsubishi Montero Sport. Tougher, prettier.
Here they come! Surprise! I made your old favorite pepperoni.
I can't eat that now.
Oh. This can't be Charlie.
I didn't take my Pepsid. I gotta wait.
Then we all wait.
Take my Tagamet. You could eat now.
Hey, Tagamet has a better way to avoid heartburn. Not before, not after, now. You can take Tagamet right when you're going to eat and still prevent heartburn.
Same old Charlie.
With Tagamet, you can eat like a kid again.
Do you dare to be there? Everywhere? Can you expose your toes? Or do you hide them because of embarrassing nail fungus that turns nails' colors, makes them thick or brittle? Well, now you can discover how it's possible to get healthier, more beautiful nails back. By calling this number, you'll receive a free video and learn about effective oral treatments your doctor has. This year, learn how to lose those shoes and love it. Then dare to be bare, because fungus-free nails are a bare necessity.
Is it the thick, rich chocolate flavor? Is it the soft, luscious cherry flavor? Or the way it yields to the gentlest bite? Or is it the fact that 500 milligrams of bone-strengthening calcium doesn't come in a big, honking horse pill? Calburst from Nature Made. Have some pleasure with your calcium.
Tonight's Eye on America looks at the latest medical research aimed at preventing bad reactions to medication. 2 million Americans are hospitalized each year for drug reactions and 100,000 die. As CBS's Elizabeth Caledon reports, the key could be in the patient's DNA.
Are you going to practice dribbling, maybe?
Claire Jacoby has dreaded taking medicine all her life, always suffering bad reactions to the most common drugs.
Whoa.
Then she nearly died after taking the painkiller codeine.
I was just fighting for my life, and I told my surgeon, I said I thought the medicine was poisoning me, and 5 years later I found out I was right.
It turns out the problem was in Claire's genes. Her DNA contains a slight variation which won't let her body process drugs. When she took the codeine, she got no pain relief, and the drug built up to potentially deadly toxic levels.
And while adverse drug reactions may be the 6th leading cause of death in the hospital, doctors are just beginning to understand how widespread the potential problem is, saying 30% of us may be taking drugs we shouldn't use because of our genes.
I think for many years we all thought that everybody would respond the same to a medication, and over the years we've learned that that's just not true.
Dr. Raymond Woosley is pioneering a field called pharmacogenetics. By analyzing a person's genes, doctors will be able to predict which drugs will work before the patient ever swallows a pill. Some of the most commonly prescribed medicines running into genetic roadblocks are codeine for pain, Prozac for depression, Lopressor for high blood pressure, and Tacrin for Alzheimer's disease. To find out who can take what, researchers here at the Georgetown University Medical Center have developed a simple test.
Why don't you just open wide for a minute?
Dr. David Flockhart demonstrates how easy it is. He collects cells which contain genetic code, or DNA, from the inside of the mouth. He prepares them in liquid, then analyzes them on a tiny DNA identification card known as a DNA chip. The test takes only a few hours to complete, and the DNA sample can be stored for future analysis. Dr. Flockhart predicts someday everyone will have their own DNA chip.
This opens up the whole possibility of an era of personalized medicines where because of one's specific genetic characteristics, you'll get a particular drug.
The science of pharmacogenetics is still in its infancy and can't become mainstream until a DNA test is government approved and mass produced. But doctors believe just knowing that our genes determine which drugs will succeed is a prescription for major advances in medicine. In Washington, D.C., I'm Elizabeth Caledon for Eye on America.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, the old man on the moon will soon have another visitor from Earth.
Got dirty sweat stains? Spray and Wash Advanced Stain Care penetrates faster than Shout and powers out those dirty sweat stains. See? So go ahead and
let them go with Spray and Wash.
It's time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious.
It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about prescription Prilosec. Your results may vary, but for many people, Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with 1 daily dose. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible. It's Prilosec time.
Hi, I have a question about buying stock. What's the difference between a market order and a limit order? Hello? Excuse me.
When you have an investment question, does your online brokerage have anybody there to answer it? We do.
Updating our top story, police in Atlanta say a stock market day trader went on a shooting rampage this afternoon, killing 9 people and wounding a dozen more in the office complex where he had worked. Police say he also shot and killed 3 of his relatives at a house in Atlanta suburbs. At last report, the police were still searching for the gunman, identified as 44-year-old Mark Barton. The mayor of Atlanta said Barton was upset about financial losses. Finally, this evening, the moon will soon have another visitor from Earth. A NASA satellite that's been mapping the moon will be sent plummeting onto the lunar surface this weekend. As CBS's John Blackstone reports, it's all in the name of science and the search for a life-sustaining liquid.
The moon may be about to give up one of its big secrets.
10 seconds. 9.
In a search for water up there, scientists today aimed a $63 million satellite to crash into the moon's surface early Saturday.
2, 1. Commands away. Copy.
For a year and a half, Lunar Prospector has been orbiting the moon, picking up hints there might be water. Alan Binder has guided the spacecraft as it fastidiously studied the moon's surface.
But now you're going to steer it right into the moon.
Going to steer right smack into the moon.
Just as the most plentiful supply of ice on Earth is at the South Pole, scientists believe there's ice just below the surface of the moon's South Pole. To try to prove that, Lunar Prospector will roar into a crater there.
Equivalent in terms of energy of a jet fighter plane going at Mach 2 roughly, smashing into the side of a mountain.
With luck, the collision will send up a cloud of lunar debris.
Among that debris, of course, hopefully there'll be water vapor, and that will expand as a cloud for 10-15 minutes.
Telescopes on Earth and in space will be watching the crater for signs of the water vapor. Finding water on the moon is something long dreamed of, says Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin.
In our early flights, we found no water at all. And it was very disappointing to find such a dry moon. Now, that's not the case, hopefully.
The crash of the Lunar Prospector will also be a sentimental journey of sorts. The spacecraft is carrying the ashes of the famous space scientist Eugene Shoemaker, who died 2 years ago. And now, when Lunar Prospector crashes, Shoemaker's ashes will be sprinkled at the place he spent a lifetime studying. John Blackstone, CBS News, Mountain View, California.
Now, here's Susan Spencer with a preview of tonight's 48 Hours.
Astonishing story of the man with the transplanted hand. A medical miracle?
It's the start of an amazing journey.
A con job?
I think that he's probably one of the best con men in the world.
Or both. Tonight on 48 Hours.
For Dan Rather, I'm John Roberts, CBS News in New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online at keyword CBS News.
Gunshots ring out in the Atlanta area and people literally run for their lives.